What's up, guys? It's your boy Dope Randy, and it's time for me to get something off my chest here. Something that I've been holding on to for a minute now, and it's kind of reached its full crescendo over the past couple of days. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy just your boy Randy rambling on about something I feel strong about. And something that looks pretty spot on to what's been going down. So, if you haven't been paying attention, the FIFA Club World Cup has been going down in the United States over the past couple of weeks. We started out with 32 teams. If you're wondering how we got there, we started out with 32 teams from all over the world. They were picked off based off the six FIFA destinations, if you will. There was 12 from UEFA. There was 6 from CONMEBOL. And by the way, UEFA is like the European teams. You have 6 CONMEBOL teams, which is like your South American teams. You have 5 CONCACAF teams, which are your North American teams from like the United States, Mexico. You have 4 from the AFC, which is the Asian Football Confederation. So you have your Koreans and you have your Korean teams and your Saudi Arabian teams and your Asian teams and all that good stuff. You have 4 from the CAF, which is the African Federation of Teams. And then you have 1 from the OFC, which is the Oceania Football Confederation. And that makes up your 32 teams. For the past couple of weeks, we've been doing the group stages, and just literally the group stage just ended about 25-30 minutes ago. And now we have a group stage, we have a knockout stage, and I'll go ahead and I'll put the group stage results on the screen right now. And as you can see, it was 8 groups of 4. And they tried to make it really even in terms of not putting teams from the same region. Like 2 is fine, but you can't just flood a region. Or you can't flood a group with the same team. You can't flood a group. You can't flood a group with the same group or same location. Like, you can't have 4 teams from Europe or 3 teams, and FIFA did a really good job about that. But as you can see, we have some shockers here. And like in Group A, we got Palmeiras. The Brazilian Giants have led and have actually won the group. With 5 points, Inter Miami with 5 points. FC Porto, the Portuguese Giants, got eliminated with 2 points, and Al Ali, one of the Egyptian Giants, eliminated with 2 points as well. In Group B, we have PSG, Botafogo, and Atletico Madrid all with 6 points. But in a huge shock, and what's probably what's going to end up being the biggest shock of this tournament up to this point, Atletico Madrid gets knocked out by the Brazilian champions, Botafogo. Shocking turn of events. And Seattle Sounders never had a chance. Group C, you have Benfica, in a slight surprise, the Portuguese champions. They beat Bayern Munich Um, to win Group C, Boca Juniors gets 2 points, the Argentine Giants. And the OFC team, the semi-pro Auckland City FC, amazingly gets 1 point. You love to see that. And then you have Flamengo in Group D, winning Group D with 7 points in another shock as Chelsea finished second. The Conference League champions with 6, and then ES Tunis gets 3 points. And in a mild disappointment for us United States supporters, Los Angeles Football Club, LAFC, only gets 1 point. You hate to see it. Group E, you have Inter Milan after getting just destroyed and fucked, in a more polite way of saying it, by PSG in the Champions League final. They come back and they win Group E with 7 points. Monterrey from Mexico is the first team from North America to qualify for the knockout stage with 5 points. River Plate with 4 points gets eliminated, and the Ural Reds doesn't even get a point. You hate to see it. In Group F, you got Borussia Dortmund at 7 points, winning the group. You love to see it. And then you got Fluminense, the Brazilians, make it 4 for 4 for the Brazilians, for the Brazil clubs, I should say, as they get 5 points and go to the next phase of the competition. They eliminate, and then Malawi Sundowns, one of the biggest clubs in Africa, get 4 points and are eliminated, and Ulsan, the team from Korea, unfortunately gets no points. And then in Group G, it's really satisfying to look at, but 9 points for Manchester City. Juventus gets 6, Al Ain gets 3, and Wydad AC gets 0. And then finally, in the group that just ended about an hour ago, Real Madrid, who you're seeing play now, just to have a visual while we're doing all this. And, oh, well, you hate to see that. Finney gets a red card, but yeah, you have Real Madrid winning this group, Group H, with 7 points. And Al Hilal, the Saudi Arabian champions, advanced to the next round with 5 points. RB Salzburg with 4 points, and Pachuca gets no points. But as you look at this table of all 8 groups, there's a theme that I'm noticing, and it's the title of this video. I know I'm finally getting to the point. The winner of the FIFA Club World Cup. And you know, like right now, you could probably say, like PSG, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, all these any of those clubs, Real Madrid, any of those clubs, and if they win the World Cup, the Club World Cup at least, it would be a great accomplishment in this expanded format. But no one's really gonna matter. No one's gonna really care, honestly. I mean, it's nice. They get a nice little boost of revenue, but to me and to football fans all across, not only the United States, but all across the world for that matter, I think the winner has already been decided, and it's going to be the talking point, and it's going to be, I mentioned Brazil. All 4 teams from the Brasileiro Serie A, the Brazilian top flight, all 4 of those teams, Flamengo, Palmeiras, Fluminense, and Botafogo, have all advanced to the next round of the competition. And that is an amazing feat that I don't think many people saw. If you don't live in Brazil, if I'm being honest, especially with some of these especially with the group assignments that was given to them off the rip, yeah, they ought to take a bow. And great job for them, but it's not. It's been coming. It's been in the way that they've prepared themselves for this tournament, and that's what we're going to get into now. First off, we have to take a step back here, because for a really long time, actually, up until the turn of the century, maybe even mid 2000s to late 2000s, really, there wasn't really a dominant region of the world for that matter. Because yes, you always have your Real Madrids. Back in the day when Manchester United was actually good, they like Real Madrid, Manchester United, Bayern Munich, clubs like that dominated. But you also had these teams from South America in CONMEBOL really take over. And they would give, like I mentioned, River Plate, and I mentioned Boca Juniors. But you also had clubs like Palmeiras, and you had Santos, and you had all these different clubs from Brazil and Argentina. They would make it. They can make the case of being the best club team in the world. But unfortunately, as the game has gotten richer and basically European football has gotten more and more financially wealthy, it's kind of left the Brazilian league and the Argentine LPF in the dust, to be honest, and it kind of sucks. For like the last 15, 20 years, or more like 10 to 15 years, it's kind of been put on the back burner. Especially because you've had clubs like Santos, and you've had clubs like Palmeiras, Botafogo, like the Brazilian 12. If you don't live in Brazil, or if you don't live in that region, it's basically a moot point. Like, to be honest, the only reason you've heard about the Brazilian League over the last 15, 20 years is because of the fact that they have had so many, or not so many, but a good chunk of talent come through the Brasileiro Serie A and have left Brazil to greener pastures across the world. Like, for an example, you got people like Marquinhos, the fine midfielder, left Corinthians to join Roma back in the day. You had Thiago Silva at the turn of the decade in the 2010s join AC Milan from Fluminense. And then, of course, more recently, you've had Neymar, one of the biggest, of course, joining Messi and Luis Suarez, forming the Eminem, or not Eminem, but M&S combination, one of the most lethal trios in footballing history. Of course, he came from Santos in Brazil. That's, of course, where he's at now, obviously. And then, more recent times, of course, we have this team in the simulation, but Vini Jr. left Flamengo to join Real Madrid. And then more recently, we have Endrick, the superstar from Brazil, the young superstar from Palmeiras, actually coming to join Real Madrid, who just completed his fourth season, or was in the process of completing his fourth season as we speak with the Club World Cup. And there's more to be in the future too, because you got Estevao going to join Chelsea. and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more in the future. But it's good that they're getting their day. And it's not, this is, like I said, this is deserved. Because if you've been watching this competition, I mean, you could say what you can say what you want about people, teams not really. I mean, FIFA put it out there that teams will be penalized if they don't field their strongest 11s and their strongest squads and all that fine stuff. But I mean, and they've done that because I mean PSG, Bayern Munich, all these guys. Like poor Auckland City had to go up against Harry Kane, Michael Elise, and Thomas Müller. That's a scary front three. In the first game of the tournament, the semi-pro team that lost 10-0 to that lot. But these guys, especially in the Brazilian, like these 4 Brazilian teams, they have come out swinging. And they are not here to be pushovers. They're actually here to fucking win this thing. And you have to give fair play to them. You have to. Especially when you... And those 3 pretty fine examples of this. Like, 3 fine examples that, like, they're not here to be pushovers. And of course, you know, we're gonna start with the 3rd day of the tournament when Fluminense took on Dortmund in New York at MetLife Stadium. And not only did Fluminense not get embarrassed, but boys, as you see, Fluminense was dominating the match. Relatively. I mean, it wasn't one-way traffic, but Fluminense had the better chances to win this match. As you can see, with about 50-50 on the possession, but Fluminense created more chances. Double the shots, double the corners. Like, you can say that Borussia Dortmund, one of the hottest teams on the planet coming into this tournament, as they have not lost a match since their Champions League defeat against Barcelona. They have not lost a match, and they looked rubbish against this Fluminense side, who, by the way, are 6th in the Brasileiro Serie A at 20 points, which is insane, by the way. Insane. But fair play. And then, and by the way, Fluminense, they did not, like, they drew this match. They drew to the Sundowns, and then they beat Ulsan. So they have not conceded. Like, you can count. Oh wait. No, they've conceded 2 goals the whole tournament. 2. Which is insane. And then you have another event, but that's just one team. And then we might as well just go for this jugular, because about a week late, we'll go in chronological order. So the next match, it happened a couple of days later. Flamengo. Not many people gave Flamengo a chance against the reigning Conference League champions of Chelsea Football Club, riding high finishing inside the top 5 in the Premier League, gonna be in the Champions League next season against the first place team in the Brasileiro. But I mean, brother, no one, a very few amount of people, not that, I can't speak, not that many people, we'll say that, thought Flamengo could do something with the mighty Chelsea Blues, but holy cow, they made Cole Palmer turn into an absolute knobhead, because it was 3-1 was the final score, and the red and black Flamengo toppled Chelsea. In a game that was insane for the Brazilians, as you have 3-1, and as you can see here, it's dissolved. 52% ball possession compared to Chelsea's 48. The XG, Flamengo right at 3.0, Chelsea at 1.06. Flamengo had 2 more shots and 3 more corners than Chelsea. Now, I know Chelsea got a red card in this match, but still, the fact that you were up 3-1 on this slot, and it's a really good one too. You just have to give it to them. And as they won that group too, they won Group B. So fair fucking play to Flamengo. And then probably the biggest shock of all. So Botafogo, a club that is sitting 8th in the Serie A at 18 points. 8th. No one, especially when you consider that PSG was the hottest club on the planet. You know, they won the Champions League, they won the Coupe de France, they won everyone in their path is just beaten and battered and broken. They beat Atletico Madrid 4-0 in the first game. Like, not many people gave Botafogo a snowball's chance in hell, if I'm being honest, in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. But sure enough, Igor Jesus, in the first half, with one of Botafogo's 4 shots in the match, wins them the game 1-0. And these stats are just insane to look at, because PSG 75% ball possession, but look at that XG, 0.54 in 16 shots compared to Botafogo's 4 shots, and 10 corners for PSG compared to Botafogo's 0. Like, Botafogo, and it's not just Botafogo, it's all the Brazilian teams to a T. It's in their identity. It's in their identity to defend really well, have a rigid, strong team first back line. Like, it's like when the chemistry is 100 on FIFA, and they all move as one, you know. Like, you see some of these guys, one guy is 2 steps behind the back line, and it just fucks up everything. These guys move as a machine. They talk. They act like it's insane. They have a very rigid plan, and it works for them. They defend by numbers, and then I mean, heck, it gets said all the time, but when in doubt, they kick that son of a bitch out, and they live to fight another day, and they do that way more often than not. And in particular, if you go into the middle part of the pitch, they're gonna declare your fucking ass. Like that Botafogo match in particular, PSG went on the flanks so many times they could only fire in crosses. And Botafogo, they could have dealt with crosses for not like to get 90 minutes. They could have probably done it for 900 minutes to deal with those crosses. And then once they got the ball, they just went for a counterattack. Just counterattack after counterattack and just wait for PSG to make a mistake. Like, it gets said all the time about these teams, like the PSGs, like Real Madrid, like Arsenal, Manchester City. They throw away chances. They waste chances like it's nothing. These Brazilian clubs, Botafogo, Fluminense, Flamengo, Palmeiras, all these clubs, they literally will execute to the T. They will not leave nothing at the table. They will make sure that they get theirs. Like, the conversion rate is insane. And that led to Palmeiras winning the group. They tied into Miami. They came back from 2-0 down. They beat Al Hilal on the first day, or not Al Hilal, I can't speak. Al Ali on the first day. Like, they did their thing, and fair play. That's what you got to do. That's exactly what you got to do. So, like I said, it's all dissolved. Like, all of these clubs, they stick to the game plan, and they will die by that game plan. And then the other key component to this is just the overall vibes. Because like I said earlier, some of these guys, they have other ideas in their mind. Not with these Brazilian teams. I tell you what, they are heel. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to sound like a douche, but a lot of people, they were kind of curious to see what this would look like. They was curious to see what this would look like, especially with all these cultures and countries coming together. You know, there was talks about this event not being full, about having empty seats, yada 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 yada. The average crowd at these games up to this point has been a shade under 35,000 at 34,773 fans up to this point. But, of course, that's an average. And there has to be a below average and an above average. Let me tell you who's the above average. And that's all of these Brazilian. It's these big four teams. Because, like, for an example, Palmeiras, when they drew 2-2 with Inter Miami just a few days ago, they drew 60,914 fans at that game for Palmeiras and Inter Miami. At Botafogo, when Botafogo pulled off that stunner against PSG at the Rose Bowl, there was 53,679 patrons at that event watching Botafogo shocked the world for that matter. Flamengo, when they beat Chelsea in Philly at Lincoln Financial Field, there was 54,000 people at that game. And then Fluminense, when they tied with Dortmund, had that great result. 34,736. Like, and it's not here. And also this too, they are loud, they are obnoxious, they do not stop. You know, they get, you know, it's these things, if you get called a library, as a football fan base, that's pretty embarrassing. You can't say that about this bunch. I'll tell you what, they are loud. Like I said, they're loud. They are emotional. They will never stop. Before, during, and after the game, they won't stop. It's always a party. Always a vibe. And fair play to them, because they're just being themselves. They're showing that Brazilian flair. Like, Brazil, let's not forget, Brazil is one of the biggest clubs in football. Or Brazil is one of the biggest... Someone's gonna clip that. Brazil is one of the biggest countries in the world when it comes to football. They've won the most World Cups. Let's not forget that. This is their sport, damn it. These people live, breathe, and they die for football. So, I mean, just imagine a pack of wild dogs going for meat. That's what it's like. So, I mean, it's to be expected, honestly. It's to be expected. And I'm just happy that, I mean, is this a revival of the Brasileiro Serie A? I don't know. But it has to be said that they're making it. I mean, heck, they're making blokes like me talk about it, which is a good thing, right? That is a good thing. As we reach the final 16, it starts in a couple of days. Actually, it starts like tomorrow. By the time I get this released, and the two Brazilian teams are going to go up against each other, Palmeiras and Botafogo. So we will have a Brazilian team in the quarterfinals. Now, can they win this competition? I don't know. The odds would say no, but you never know. You never know. I mean, like I said, I think they've already won this tournament. They've won the hearts and minds of all of these fans watching around the world. It should be no longer on the back burner of everyone's mind. Like, you know what you're gonna get. They do it really well, and they ain't no joke. You can't fuck around with these guys. And the big fan bases in the whole nine. Like, they went all in this tournament, and they're reaping the rewards up to this point. So, I mean, I think it would be insane if they won. If one of them won. Of course, only time will tell. And I may have to make a part 2 about this, because it would be insane if they somehow won. But I think that's going to do it. Just for me rambling on about these things. My name is still Randy, and I appreciate all y'all just sticking with me. I appreciate all the support and the fans. We just hit 100 subscribers, which is awesome. I greatly appreciate it. I hope this video finds this video finds you well, honestly. Let me know what you want to see next. I love each and every one of y'all. Hope you have a good one. And peace out, guys.